anomaly, but I'm back once again, and I believe I'm filling for Jam. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. We have Shinto versus Pay Money to My Pain. And this first set is going to be Shinto's pick with the Wesker, and we do see Enlightened on the Wesker. So it's going to be quite an interesting, it's going to be quite interesting the games, but um, we'll see how Enlightened can do on the Wesker Peps.
Yeah, I have not. I think I've seen the name Enlighten a bit. I have not seen their Wesker though, so I'm kind of curious to see how that will pan out. They have a pretty stock standard builds. You pretty much always, well, back when I was around a comp a little while ago, you was pretty much perm around brutal strength on the Wesker just to break the pallets. Try and get the survivors in between the loops and the tiles if possible and get you tagged. But we're going to be seeing a throw there onto space 0-1, but unfortunately not going to hit a wall. But we'll get that infection going. So eventually they are going to slow down here in the chase and Lighten. Going to be trying to play this short little tile, but actually breaks it on the opposite side, kind of giving the Atom a bit more room to breathe there on the map. Going to be heading back to the TL. Going to be dodging in and out. I would suspect that the slow on the infection will be coming momentarily. A delayed medium voltage trying to throw off Enlighten there. Really good chase here from Space 0-1. Lasting a hell of a lot of time here. Does have that smash hit as well in their back pocket, so if they do want to eventually get that stun, no, gonna prioritize definitely dying in the right spot. I definitely agree with this play. Have a Z-wall to try and do so. No, the edge map rock will be going down. And really good start here from Space 0-1 on the survivor side.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent chase. He was able to live quite long in those TNLs and that bottom rock little filler, and it does seem like we are going to be splitting. I believe that was 3 generators, and we don't actually use pain res on this first hook here, so maybe Aladdin just wasn't able to reach a pain res, which would be very unfortunate, as we do see some pre-stealthing from our survivor side here, and we are going to see quite a good pull. I mean, Leiden's gone all the way to the opposite side of the map. So if we get an FTP, in which we do, and maybe we can see some type of stealth coming out from the Atom here, which would be really good to see. And it would mean that we could prevent a tunnel out, as we do see our first generator popping. Like we know that first chase was very long, and we see blood pools here from the survivor we are following, so we are gonna mess up our bound just a little bit right there. So we aren't gonna be getting painkiller on that second bound, but we are gonna follow up with a very quick M1 right here on the free side of the map. And we also do see, I believe that is our Quentin right there, just gonna be stealthing near these buses, probably for the pool. So very good for our survivor side, I would say, although we are going to be using pain res here, which will maybe mean that Enlighten can get to that 99 gen before it pops, but it doesn't seem like we are going to be going to 11. So um oh, we're going to be popping it just a few seconds before eruption was going to be in use, which is very unfortunate for Enlightened, and that generator at 11 is most likely just going to be popping. So a little bit of a bad start for Enlightened. Pep's very unfortunate.
Yeah, and it was a really good timing on
Oh,
the unhook as well. I was going to say the Quentin, really nice double dash there. Got that unhook for free, and now we're going to be seeing Space 0-1 yet again entering chase. But this time we'll immediately get thrown into the wall there, as we're going to be seeing the follow-up dash. It was only a singular dash, but Space 0-1 thinking it was a double dash, but unfortunately did not count the dash tokens there. So we'll be going down pretty much for free, and this is going to be 2 fresh hooks now. But considering this is Shinto's pick, I would say that PMTMP are actually doing like really, really well on the survivor side so far. Playing really well coordinated, good chases, good pull timings, and I'm going to see Lighten probably play around the 3-gen on this 3-4 shack area possibly throughout this game. We'll see how he ends up, where he decides to want to camp up a bit, but I do like the fact that they are playing aggressive here, realizing they're a bit low tempo. A nice throw immediately in that chase, and they're kind of making it for lost time here.
yeah, we are going to see that down onto Painkiller right here. Going to be just getting this very quick hook here. So now we're in an interesting situation, I believe. I remember Monk telling me he's kind of going for a little bit of an Ots Dava tech, where he bounces between 2 survivors until he can force a 2v1. So we do have Space 0-1 on Defok as well with Painkiller. And so A bit of an interesting pull there. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the survivor is on death hook. The way where the kill, I mean, where the killer is, it's gonna be really hard to get painkiller out of this top side of the map, and we are gonna be seeing the body block just coming a little bit too late, and missing our dashes right there. Could have been a little bit of a free tag, and it looks like we are gonna be possibly overcommitting for this free tag, as we'll most likely go back and just get that death into painkiller. Although and I don't know, it's a bit of an interesting situation we have here. Um, it does look like we are just going to be securing this kill onto painkiller, and I mean, hopefully Enlightened possibly can pull something, make something happen. I mean, he has a little bit of a free gen on the bottom side of the map, or maybe a 4 gen. I couldn't really see properly, but um, are going to see that first death onto painkiller, as we do see Quinton also stealthing for that 5 generator. So interesting as well. We're straying away from where our generators are, and we're going to be committing star nods. I mean, it would make sense if this was Space 01, our death hook survivor, but we are just going to be committing this survivor for possibly a pain res, but I don't know if it would be worth it, Pep. So a bit of an interesting play from Enlighten not to play for his 4 gen, and we are going to be messing up our band and allowing our Jake Park to just live even longer, Peps. Very unfortunate for Enlighten.
I think it's fine to kind of stray away from your generators to play a bit aggressively, but that's as long as you can get that tag as fast or down as fast as possible. But this is dragged out for a little bit of time here, so if they're proactively working on these generators down on the spot side that are pretty close, which seems like the Quentin was Space 01 kind of just pre-selfing there for the save. I hope that the Quentin's, is that Cindy? I'm not too sure exactly the name. I think it's Cindy. It's hard to read it. But they're going to want to pre-stealth here, which you kind of see them doing. Don't want to kind of get spotted here. Don't want that snowball to occur. Don't want that down to happen on that bot side of the map. As all chasers definitely have to head towards this top side. And Enlighten going to wrap around here on the bot side. If they do end up spotting Cindy, they'll be in a pretty good spot, I would say. But if the survivors are able to snag this unhook relatively safely, they can stabilize here for sure.
Yeah, we see that eruption being used onto
Oh, they
that
found him.
generator, and we find Cindy or slash Quinton right here, just at the corner of the map. Very unfortunate. So this is going to be our last fresh we're chasing, and those look like she's they are going to be able to make it all the way up to the top side of the map, which is very good for our survivor side. And hopefully we can get a quick wrap to our bottom gens.
Maybe a quick 2-tap. No, Enlighten does not want the 2-tap, unfortunately, there onto the Quentin. But I think it was ultimately the right decision here, trying to break away. Trying to get rid of as many resources as possible. They have to cleanse as well because they can't really... Oh, nice little dash there onto the Atom with the multi-tags coming through. This is what you like to see from the killer side. We see the spray can, so you know only at max one survivor right now is doing a generator, and Lightning going to be getting that grab once again. Nice chases here. Space 01 going to be heading onto the hook and to their doom as they have just died on the hook there. So it's not too bad to see as Cindy kind of stealthy on this top side. And all of a sudden, 3v1 down to 2v1, almost borderline impossible for the survivors to play, and a 4k2 most likely from Enlighten here for Shinto.
Yeah, it does look like that that Otstava tech really paid off right there. And it does look like we also are going to find Jake Park here. We aren't going to be committing. We're going to be getting rid of that shack resource, and we also do see a Quinton here, I believe, working on this 9 generator. So it does look like Enlighten is just going to be playing very defensive, which is fair enough. But once he does find a survivor, especially survivor like Quinton, who is injured, maybe we'll see Enlighten commit, as it does look like he's going all the way to the top side of the map to possibly find some type of reset going on, which would probably spell out the 4k2 most likely. But I mean, they aren't going to be working sorry, they aren't going to be even going for that reset. They're just sticking gens and Enlighten. So bit of free progress for the survivor side right there. The stream is a little bit laggy right now, but it does look like Enlighten is on our just looking at these bottom generators, making sure that the progress is very minimum, and so not bad at all. It's looking like a 4k2, but maybe if they can lock in peps and they have maybe just a little good chase, maybe they can pull out maybe a 4k1 result.
That was crazy that the Quentin there didn't get spotted while injured. I think Enlighten does realize that they're about to go down. I was actually going to say, I'm not too sure based on the balancing this season, since I last properly cast it was like a while ago, but I was going to say potential trauma tech, but I'm not too sure if the points matter enough for that to even be like a thing that really exists in the current balancing. But Enlighten going to get a nice down there. The slug, but if it does make a difference, which I'm not too sure about at the moment with the balancing, trauma tech could be on the cards here potentially. But it's very rare to see that actually kind of get pulled off in comp. Oh my god, we saw the head of Jake kind of just poking out there. It was very unfortunate timing to kind of check around that corner. Now Enlighten should be able to finish up this match here. Going to be getting the down Jake momentarily, you'd assume. Yes, going to be smashing into the wall. They know where Cindy is, and it's going to be a 4K2 to start off the set.
Yeah, very it was looked a bit interesting at the start because Enlightened did opt to go for the obviously the Ot Starver tech where you just go for 2 survivors and ping pong between the two. But it looks like even after that really good chase, the really good first chase, it looks like it really paid off. I mean the chases after that were quite they were quite short.
Next set could be kind of good to see here, but Santania on the Wesker, he has that brutal strength, a pretty stock standard build. I mean, not really deviating away from the norm here. Has the egg, which opens up the opportunity for a larger window to try and get that second dash off. So very interested to see how that can pay off. But what do you think of Santania on the Wesker?
I don't think I've ever seen this person play, but it does look like we see some really good stuffing from our survivor side. Shinto obviously playing for an extremely good result.
They
And
blended into the truck.
green cosmetic right there on Blighter. I believe that was a green shirt and a green cap, and just everything's green. Fair enough for this map. That really paid off, and I guess with no reshade that make it really hard to see Dwight. But we are going to be taking the chase.
Oh, I like this. The commitment on the chase here, holding W.
Yeah, we do see the Jiggy all the way to the top side of the map, and we are, oh my god, an amazing prediction from our killer player here is going to be able to get really in the injured state, and this is probably where you want to be dying. This is where the corrupt is. Maybe if we can dive really deep top, we can prevent a good hook for our killer player here, and a little bit of delayed Vulture right there. It doesn't seem like a Wesker player is going to be taking advantage of it, and we're full sending it top for an amazing deflecation and a pretty good chase. So really well played to our to the survivor side right there. That was a really good start.
Honestly, when it comes to like chases and like looping tiles and breaking away in there, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. A really good first chase there from really doing, I guess, really well there for their team, and gives them off to a really good start here. The first generator popping for the first hook, not quite going to get that pain res off on that generator. We'll subsequently get the second most progressed generator here. Is Blaze now going to be trying to pre-leave the generator here? That terror radius coming towards them. But, you know, still pretty far away considering it's Wesker with like a 48-meter radius. But Satalia is going to be checking on this bot side of the map, aware that there is a survivor here. They can maybe get into a decent position and maybe throw them back towards that edge map on 6 there. They get a quick 2-tap and maybe actually flip the game on its head, but unfortunately not able to spot the survivor there. Probably forced to try and intercept the save to try and get a bit of a snowball going as they can't find anyone on the spot side of the map.
Sorry, my mic was muted.
That's right.
We are going to be seeing I believe this was the reset. Sorry, I was tabbed out trying to fix my mic right there. But we are going to see the continuation of the tunnel out here onto really. We are going to be full sending it to where we did pop our first generator, which is 5, which would probably be the death location for this survivor. It does look like we are maybe trying to make a shack so that we can have a pretty decent chase. And we actually do make it, as our Wesker player was recovering from the Wesker dashes prior used. And maybe some patience here, but no, we aren't going to be winning that. Not going to be a very nice side step from really is not going to be able to get that down. And I do believe maybe we saw scratch marks around this area. Maybe if we can get a hit take coming in, if we can make 5, and a beautiful side step once again from really is going to be able to make him make all the way to this bottom side of the map. This 6 generator gets popped and all the other survivors are in the healthy state, so maybe we can see a hit take to make it all the way to the bottom side of the map where we would have our progress generators. And we are going to be seeing, really unfortunately, just getting a little bit unlucky right there. I don't believe our killer player should have used his Wesker dashes there, so very unlucky. But we are going to see the second hook onto really, and that was a really long chase. And so I'm not too sure what the Wesker player is going to do now, but I feel like if really does have a really good chase once again coming off of that hook, it might be problems.
I was going to say at this point, you kind of have to play aggressive here on the killer. If you kind of stay around the hook trying to proxy, you're going to pretty much lose the entire game. So I don't like this, trying to have a bit of aggression here, but can't quite find a survivor. No one's really being out of position here, so kind of making it really hard for the killer player to try and get anything back, any momentum in this game. We have 3 healthy survivors. This is like pretty bad case scenario here. For the killer players, are going to be seeing them kind of go towards this top side of the map, trying to stop this generator from progressing, sees the scratch marks. So I think they're going to be heading over towards 11. The FTP going to be getting utilized as well on that tunnel out, and now really is in a pretty safe spot. Can just kind of sit on that bot side of the map in that deep 6 area and just work that gen for free, and the killer can't do much about it. Is going to be seeing Evan here on this tile. The jungle gem going to be pre-dropping that pallet, almost actually stuffing up there, but I think they do make this vault. No, going to hold W just instead. Going to be baiting out that swing. Nasatania going to be trying to utilize this dash, try and get the hit. The dodge out though from Evan, playing this tile really well. Shinto been playing the survivor side immaculately so far. The tag eventually coming through, but at what cost? As now they're forced to leave and try and see if there's a survivor here that can maybe try to find kind of on this bot side of the map, suspecting there's probably going to be the Dwight and the Claudette, and yep, there they are. The injured Claudette here on the wrong side of the tile as well. Going to be forced to potentially drop it. We want to see the survivor drop this pallet is what Satania wants, but they're not refusing to. Going to be on the outside now on the long side of the pallet, much safer here. As they're going to be seeing the dash getting utilized here. Going to see if they can try and get the tag, as Blaze going to be trying to go around. They're stuffing up their dash there mechanically is going to result in a lot longer of a chase, as that is a big cooldown for both dashes.
Oh my god, sorry, I keep having my mic muted and I forget to unmute. I was saying, does look like our Wesker player is going to be going for our freshers here, and kind of getting lost in the sauce, as Hunter would say. Kind of lost Blaze for a second, and we are going to be seeing we're going to see Blaze just once again, and oh, very unfortunate reaction time or timing right there. Blaze is going to be going straight on the ground near this 9 side of the map. This is an insta pain res and really is going to be able to get off the gen just in time, and our Wesker player is going to be going to the wrong generator, so this is really unfortunate. I do believe really was on 6, so we are probably going to see this generator pop, as our killer player has gone all the way to the other side of the map near 1. So like we already have this, I believe this set has already went to Shinto, as the WinCon, the TyCon, sorry, was a 4K2, WinCon was 4K3, and so it does look like we are going to see Shinto win the Wesker set. So really well played. I can definitely see why Shinto, you know, I don't know about you, Peps, but I can definitely see why you know, Shinto would opt to you know, pick a set like Wesker. Obviously they're very well trained in it, and they've got Leiden to play killer as well, and he's obviously just a beast, as we've just seen.
Yeah, no, honestly, Enlighten on that Wesker played insanely well the last set, playing really well here on the survivor side as well. I guess they're just trying to play for a bit of juice here, maybe the chasers, considering they already got that WinCon mat a little while ago. As we're going to see in the quad, trying to get cut off here, trying to get to the gate, but not quite going to happen. Going to be getting hit onto some oxygen, and we'll be getting grabbed there, and consequently hooked here. And this will end up being about a 4-stage, pretty much a 5-stage result here. So not too bad, but definitely a little bit under average here. Showed some glimpses of some good mechanical play, but Shinto just playing far too great here on both sides.
I am pretty sure. So, on, oh yes, this is the Blood Lodge. Sorry. We are going to be seeing oh, we see oppression, Peps. Do you have anything to say about that? Because I think that's a really interesting pick for the killer.
Well, I like the use of surveillance with oppression, actually, because I'm going to assume that the 3 generators that will start regressing from that kick will apply all surveillance. So you're just going to know where exactly which every generator that the survivors will be at through the game. So we have to see if the killer player here can try to utilize that surveillance information later on to get maybe cut off some survivors. Try to be smart with their timings on when they're going to do their roams, as we're going to be seeing the survivor side of Shinto here playing pretty safe here at the start, trying to avoid the first chase, because that first tag, especially on Kaneki, could be very quick as all they have to do is pretty much just dash once dash. You're going to get that tag, but we do have a survivor at least on a generator on that bot side of the map, and kind of key player here is not actually going to be looking deep on that bot side of the map, so gen progress happening here kind of for free. Because we're going to be seeing Blaze kind of just pre-leave there, trying to get spotted, and Shinto playing this matchup really, really well. I would say pretty much all their survivors now are in really good positions, safe positions, not going to get caught out here on the start of the game, so good start here from Shinto.
Yeah, definitely the chase potential for the ghoul can be really good. Obviously, I mean, especially if we're caught off guard or in just a bad situation with bad RNG. So it's always good to get some good stealthing at the very start, and we see this from Shinto. So I love to see that their stealth is extremely good. As I'm assuming we just did a little bit of a cheeky swing through the pallet there, getting Orlando in the injured state. But obviously, I think that an M1 is probably a little bit more better than actually giving the power, as it does allow this killer to have two free leaps instead of two. So we did see Evan there also just stuffing really deep 5, and we see the first hook onto Orlando right there with the pain was being used. So not a bad start. I think that was kind of a quick down, kind of ruined the stealth. But at the end of the day, it was they still got some decent progress from their good stealths, and we see the pool also.
Yeah, no, this is actually my first time ever really seeing Kaneki in comp, and one of the very few times I've actually seen them in game so far. One thing I will say though, it would be cool if there was some verticality on the lead. I know it'd be kind of broken, but it'd be pretty sick. But Behavior Interactive will not implement such fun things, unfortunately, as we're going to be seeing the Kaneki player kind of committing here. I do like this from the Kaneki. Will eventually get the dash over the pallet there. Not quite going to do much, but does get a really quick recovery after that power usage on the other side, so he gets that down. And this is going to be an additional fresh hook here for the killer side.
Yeah, that says on two pretty quick downs. I would say we kind of got kidnapped teched almost, I believe, or maybe they got rid of it, but nonetheless you can still vault over the pallets and kind of slow down the survivor a lot, which helps out a lot during chase. Do you see the pain res and the hook onto really, and it does seem like we are just going to be looking around this side of the map trying to maybe find a stealth. We also do see this very high progress generator here, and we are going to be using oppression and our surveillance on it. So yeah, I mean, like you were talking about, the surveillance oppression is the surveillance oppression is obviously kind of paying off, Peps. I can see what you mean, and to be honest, I wasn't 100% sure what oppression did, but I'm assuming when you kick one generator, it's kicks all the other generators with progress, if I'm not wrong, or something like that.
It will apply the kick to 2 other generators additionally, so 3 gens end up getting the regression begin,
Oh!
as we're going to be seeing a swing and barely missing on really. That's actually a pretty big miss, because that is the difference between having a Death Hook survivor you know, later on to try and play around and then not, and maybe have this chase extend even further depending on whether there is a tile here up at 1, which there actually is. So the Kaneki is going to be trying to jump in front of the Dwight, laying them back through. Nice positioning there, but we're going to be seeing them try to go back up towards this pallet, but they're not quite going to make it. I'm pretty sure they get the down just barely in time there. Really not quite going to be able to make that. Now we have a second stage survivor here. That was a really nice difference there on that window. Going to be making it for a bit of lost time here on the survivor side. And it's pretty dangerous as well when you're against the Kaneki and Chase if he is in that enrage mode, because obviously he gets the triple dash, the instant recovery essentially, and yeah, it can be pretty dangerous, but they're not quite in the enrage mode just at the moment. But we're going to be seeing them go over to this gen. They've kind of been harassing for a bit here with that oppression, and I just like it when we see a few other perks getting utilized, like oppression, that depending on what the balancing brings. But I don't know. I feel like we haven't really seen like too much value from the surveillance though. Yeah, as you can kind of generally, especially in a lot of maps, I feel like particularly kind of in a map like this, you can have a general pretty good idea of where a lot of the survivors most likely would be, or where the gens are going to get worked. But maybe we'll see it pay off a bit later.
My mic was muted again. It does look like really has been sitting on the hook for quite a lot of time. Evan is going to be here for the possible FTP play. Probably not though. Bringing FTP on a set like this is kind of interesting in my opinion, unless the Kaneki does stray really far away. But even then, I mean, I feel like, I mean, they can catch up so quickly and they can reverse the map extremely quickly. So did you see the unhook onto really? This is going to probably most likely be a tunnel out, as they are on their last hook state, and we don't get the fast fall unfortunately right there. So really is just going to be getting grabbed out of that window, and that's going to be the death at 2 generators. So pretty standard, I would say. Obviously this killer does have lots of potential for chase, and I was informed that the kidnap tech is still in the game as we are playing these matches. So we do find Blaze as well here, kind of just sitting at this time. Looks like our Kaneki player has kind of just gotten a little bit lost. We have found him once again, kind of just playing very patient is Blaze, and oh, very well played from Blaze actually. I really liked how he played that, although it could have been a little bit risky if he did kind of lose that 50-50 almost, as we do see Blaze get down and the ace in the background get reset in Peps.
Yeah, no, this game is going pretty decently so far for pays money to, I'm not too sure. Oh, sorry, for pay money's killer player here, going pretty well. I'm gonna have another survivor here on the hook, and curious to see how this one's going to pan out. I do like that the survivors kind of got that double reset off, or they have fully reset now, and the 3v1 resetting is absolutely paramount to stop that snowball from spiraling out of control. Giving away free tags in this situation on the side of Shinto will prove to be very, very costly, so you have to try and avoid that, as we do see one of the survivors, I think it was Jake, getting into the locker there, but coming out and actually getting found. So they did the one thing that I said not to do, unfortunately, and that is going to pay quite horribly here, I'd assume, for the survivor side.
Yeah, we have to get that pull very early. I mean, this is a 3v1, which is very unfortunate for the survivor side, as it's gonna mean that the killer is probably gonna be able to close this out. It depends how well Shinto plays their 3v1. It seems like they're just gonna be opting for this chase into Orlando to pull and reset, which is fair enough. And hopefully, maybe just after this, we can see some gem progression getting done. Um, it's very unfortunate, to be honest. I mean, the survivors are just in a pretty bad situation. I would say mostly because of the early tunnel out onto really, and I feel like this was maybe it's the build as well. I really like the use of oppression and surveillance personally. I know I'm bringing it up a few times, but I can see it obviously getting really good value. So we do see Orlando now on their death hook, which is very unfortunate. So maybe we can also see maybe a forced 2v1 after we do unhook Orlando. And personally, I don't know, but I would probably get Blaze to be sitting some type of generator. Obviously, it's a little bit unfortunate, as there's no really bottom gens to be sitting, so that he would probably be in an awkward situation. I don't know. Personally, I would probably maybe just a little extra gen progression would be pretty nice, perhaps. But it does look like Blaze is going to be stuffing right here next to the pool, just looks like a Kaneki player is going to be playing very aggressive for this tunnel out, and we aren't going to be taking that opportunity right there to potentially get
They saw
a
him.
free unhook. And we are going to be seeing, oh wait, the body blocks,
Oh,
this
the block.
tile.
This
Oh
with the
no!
trash bags. It's actually a
Oh,
massive
what?
body block. Not quite going to be able to get the body block on the other side. The trade's going to be coming out here, delaying the game here for the survivor side, which is absolutely crucial. But now the decision here: do you want to slug and go for that tunnel out, or are you going to pick? And we see the pick going to be coming through here, and there's a pain res still available, it seems like, on the Claudette. I do like that play, trying to just delay that pull for as long as possible, get this gem progress, and it kind of paid off a bit, but not quite enough, as the Kaneki player actually did delay the pain res to be utilized later on here. It's actually had a massive impact on this game. So now gonna be trying to dash across the map here towards this ace to see if they can cut him off, but maybe if they can't find him, they're probably going to try and find their way back. But no, Evan is going to get spotted here at the bus. Still has that pallet to be able to utilize here. Going to be trying to loop this through. And I'm pretty sure they will make this, but they kind of get hit over the pallet here, I'm pretty sure, against the Kaneki, as we will be getting that damage through now. I would actually probably go back here. Definitely the play to go back top side here, interrupt the heals that are going on. Maybe potentially, I like the pathing here too. Just trying to cut them off preemptively, knowing they're going to be going from top to bot on that 1 to 3 side. But no, actually not going to try to cut off. Actually just going to try and commit it for the ace.
Yeah, I find this really interesting. I mean, it does look like our Kaneki player did go all the way to 11, shell of 11. Potentially just trying to apply lots of pressure. We saw it potentially an early unhook, but the thing is, both of our we have two death hook survivors in the game. Both of our injured right now, so Evan and Blaze, and it doesn't oh sorry, not Evan. We did have Blaze on death hook, so um personally, just in my opinion, just a little bit interesting not to go straight back as um, maybe maybe just a little bit worried about the gem progression or something like that. I'm not too sure.
No, all the
Or
gens were top. Pretty sure they had they did have the idea to maybe cut across the three, but they just went against it and just went for the survival they saw. But they actually had to
oh,
trust their gut. They definitely would have actually cut them off, but it doesn't matter anyway because they cut them off in the locker, and this is the Death Hook survivor getting found in the 3v1. A massive blunder there from Blaze. Going to be getting sacrificed on the hook, and that is going to have a catastrophic effect on this game for the survivor side. Now, it went from most likely potentially being a 4K1 to now I think it's almost going to be a solidified 4K2 unless the survivors here can try and pull something out of the bag.
yeah, we do have Orlando on death hook. Sorry, so sorry, I just wanted to say that it would have probably been right after getting but when we were in that 3v1 situation and Nikki did go back. Both of those survivors were at the time injured and both on death hook, so probably would have been a little bit more better to go back and potentially just get a easy death. But we are going to be chasing our death hook survivor now. Doesn't seem like we are going to be committing though.
They
We
got
are
the
going to be
triple
going
dash.
straight back, and yeah, the triple dash is going to be really big,
It's crazy.
really big for our Kaneki player. And yeah, that survivor is just going to be dead. So this is going to be the first trip into Evan right here, and not looking the greatest for the survivor side. This is the only generator they have real progress on, and the Kaneki's playing very well around it. And we saw a crow.
Oh no, not the crow. The crow also giving away the last survivor here as they probably might know. They're going to be running past here. The save is going to be coming through from Orlando, trying to delay the game here a bit, maybe just trying to play for a potential hatch play in the end game. I'm not too sure as they're immediately going to be jumping back right into the face. Jake just running straight into the Kaneki there. Definitely not the place you want to be as the chase is going to ensue here as we're going to be seeing the Jake actually going to make this pallet. Still hasn't been broken yet, so can play around this on the bus a little bit to try to delay some time for Evan to potentially maybe rotate to a generator. As we're going to be seeing the Kaneki just using, I think, the right click slightly too early there. Never mind, actually didn't have vaulting the window anyway regardless. That's not too bad as we're going to be seeing them try to dash around the bus here to catch up a bit in this chase. But eventually you're just going to have to try and M1 them on this pallet or break it, and the break will be coming through here as that will be the Hellstar there for the Jake to try and break away here onto this filler, but the pre-drop coming through, playing as safe as possible, and now the Kaneki is kind of forced to leave here a bit, just to make sure that these generators on the top side of the map aren't being worked, and they definitely aren't being worked currently, as Evan must have just been doing, no, they're on the main generator, so a bit of progress would have been on there as well, but this is such a, weird, awkward spot to be for the survivors. The moment someone goes down, the game's basically over.
Yeah, we just see Evan near that bottom side, so maybe they could have set up some type of reset, but unfortunately, it does look like Orlando did play quite aggressive for that game. There comes the
Is that
the
the live?
kidnap.
Oh no,
I
it's
think that
not.
was SB, yeah.
SB.
We did see the SB right there, and kind of allowed Orlando to leave, and we're playing aggressive for the 11 gen, and it looks like kind of trolling just a little bit, which is fair enough, as this is probably going to be a 4K2, as the Kaneki have played really well with this one progress generator, and unfortunately the survivors just never never really played slow. They always kind of just played aggressive for that one generator, and Kaneki really just took advantage of that, and so oh my god, so we saw a 4K2 from Enlightened slash Shinto, and now we're seeing a 4K2 from their Kaneki. So potentially maybe not the 4K2. I don't want to get cast as curse, as some casters may say it. No, this is definitely going to be the
That was
4K2.
perfect.
That is the beautiful body block here. So, oh, maybe waiting at Dead Eyes. Doesn't look like the survivor has Dead Eye missing the M1, but this is probably going to be the last chase of the whole game. But yeah, like I said, we had a 4K2 from Enlightened. For Shinto, they ended up winning that set. Now we're seeing a 4K2 from our Kaneki player here on Pay Money to My Pain, I believe it's called. So very well played. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see why they would pick this set, as well as why Enlightened would pick Wesker. But yeah, very well played.
Say like I could definitely see as to why they would be picking the Kaneki because that Kaneki player definitely you can tell definitely has a pretty good idea on what they're doing on the character and has played really well here on this killer side. Now the question is their survivor side up to the same standard as their killer side on this killer? So not out of the woods yet. Definitely still step up here, huge uh, on the Shinto side. But I mean, after that Kaneki play from the past killer, I mean, it's going to be hard to follow that up. But it's going to be really though, so kind of keen to see how they can play out this kill here.
Yeah, it does look like we have bring Coal of Brine, which I know is now one of the more better perks in well, more of a more common perk, I should say. Sorry, more of a common perk now that I believe I think pain res got nerfed or some perks got nerfed. So, and maybe Colorbrine received a buff, maybe if I can get confirmation. But it does look like we are going to be getting the Enraged onto our Lori here, and ooh, we don't see the tentacles right there on the spectator. We can see them, but we do see the injure finally happening onto our Lori Strode, and really it's just going to be going back to the bottom side of the map, looking for survivors. We do peep Painkiller just here, they're just moving around. We're going to be going for a cheeky swing for the pallet, which is not going to be able to connect, and we do see the injure coming onto Ace, so it does look like really is playing very hit and run type of style Pep, so very interesting.
Yeah, just trying to dish out as much punishment as possible. I mean, with this kind of win con, you kind of just have to get as many injuries, maybe potentially, and eventually get a bit of a slug fest going in this game. And I'd say with the tempo currently of the amount of tags they're getting, I mean, they definitely are on track to potentially, I mean, do this, but I mean, that's a tall ask regardless, but they're gonna have to keep this tempo up pretty much the entire game. They can't let up, can't really make a single mistake here. No real room for error here on the killer side, as we'll be seeing the immediate resets all across the board there for paid money. So they're going to make it pretty incredibly hard, but I do like to kind of slow down the game a bit, realize it was spiraling and just kind of, reset everybody. They have the time. They have the hook stages. There's no need to panic or force things at this point in time. Just need to get a few gens done and you get your win con.
Yeah, it looks like they did kind of give up a little bit of gen progression for that reset, but considering that they are playing for obviously just all they have to do really is pop 3 generators. They are playing for a 4K to the survivors, so considering they only have to pop a couple generators, that's very fair considering that's very fair just to reset everyone and making sure that a snowball will just not be in the cards for the killer. So we are going to be seeing the pull come out from our survivor side right there. Really is going to be going straight back, going for Hades, our tunnel out, and like I said, the chase potential for the killer here, or for this type of killer, the Ghoul, is extremely high. Although we are going to be hitting the BT, and the Enraged is going to be going out. So maybe if we can hit our Claude out here, we aren't going to be going for the hit. We are going to be going for the cut off here and making it all the way bottom using BR. This chase has lasted a lot more longer than it probably should have had. It should have probably bit of bit confused on which locker to search out there, but we are going to see the blood pool under that right locker, and this is probably going to be a hook into the basement. And from now, I'm not too sure what the survivors are going to do. I mean, I'm not too sure how much progress they have, but they do have Hades on that second hook, and so really has had a really good start.
Yeah, a really good start here. The survivor side just trying to get this first generator out of the way here, which will come through hopefully eventually. No, not forced, but potentially forced to get off of here. I'm pretty sure I saw that, yeah, there was another generator that was very, very close, going to get popped just in time, but we'll sacrifice the tag for this, as now it really has to make a decision. Do they keep playing aggressive here and just kind of assume that the survivor side might be trying to thrash out one of these last generators, may not go for the pull here? And I think I do like the aggressive play here. Going back, you're basically just kind of conceding the game. You need to keep this tempo up, the pull coming through. You only have a brief period of time here, maybe 20, 30 seconds of two isolated survivors on that top side of the map, but really going to be going back towards the basement here and going to be seeing that reset as well. Knows both survivors haven't come up just yet, has only one more generator remaining to play around to get completed here. So it does seem like they're going to be sacrificing that top side gen to potentially get this tunnel out of the game, but Hades is going to have to try and make their way over to a safish area of the map here on the spot side. I think they're going to be breaking away potentially from Shaq here. There's no pallet. No, they didn't utilize that time to break away here, so the down might be coming through momentarily. It has to be very, very fast. It's actually just get the hit through the wall. Apparently that was very, very interesting, as now they're going to be getting the map with a bit of a speed boost there. Has a nice long pallet here, so Hades going to be playing around this. Has to be as safe as possible. The game's going to get decided on this chase and basically how fast it can be.
Yeah, we aren't going to be seeing the kidnap tech being going on there, but we are still going to be able to go all the way around and end up getting that down. So this is going to be the tunnel out onto Hades. I believe this is the last hook, if I'm not wrong. So we are going to be seeing the death onto Claudette here, and not looking bad for really. I mean, he does have to 4K right now though, and obviously it's really good to get that tunnel out in any normal game. It would be really good to have a def at 3 generators, but because he has such a hard win con to beat, it might just not be good enough. And unfortunately, really is going to be looking around this maps, and he doesn't really have any other pressure. He still has 3 stacks of painters, but I mean, there's still 3 survivors remaining in the trial, and they're all healthy, and all it takes is one good chase and one double to just really get this win. And so, if the survivors just properly just take advantage of this win con, then I think they could easily just win. If I'm being honest, perhaps I don't think it would be that hard at all.
This just makes you think as well with how this game's been going and how well Really's been playing. Maybe the minus points, the 0.5, come into play here, because you'd think in this situation, if you're trying to play for a 4K2 Tycon, you'd say if it'd be definitely feasible potentially, but still just trying to keep us at a 4K3 with the spread of generators they have on the map here. It's such a tall ask, but I mean, they are really trying here, as we're going to be seeing the tag here onto the lorry. They're doing a really good job of cutting off survivors, kind of catching them out of position, getting tags, and it's literally, I'd say, the only reason why they are still in this game as it is. So really doing as best they can to try and clutch up for the team here. Still on that win con right now, technically, as they actually are going to intercept the A. So this is like a perfect case scenario. Not only have they got a survivor on the hook, but they were able to find both survivors stealthing away from the generator / going from the save. So really, is it a pretty decent spot here? But has to still be a bit aggressive, because it just can't afford to allow a double to happen on one of these last generators, as the pre-drop's going to be coming through. Laurie might be stealthing through on that 1 to 5 side of the map right now to try and get this pole. If really can try and cut this off, if they can allow this to get second, potentially play around the death hook later on, it could come and pay in spades here. But I think Laurie definitely shouldn't be playing for the pull here. You're injured. You don't want to risk it, especially the mobility on this kill. You kind of want to stay on that top side of the map, focus on the gen, just sit up there potentially. But I feel like Shinto have been paying money, have been playing the survivor side on the last little bit here. Not too great. They've been kind of just getting caught out of position, not focusing on the generators, because they only need one gen at this point.
Is muted once again. Oh my god. Does look like we are going to see the chase onto Painkiller here. It's going to be a really quick chase. I mean, if these quick chases keep happening and these survivors keep getting caught off guard, it's just gonna be crazy. Like, this might actually
coming through.
Yeah, we also do see most likely Painter's here, but it's not going to be a Painter'sable hook, unlucky. So we are going to be getting a Painkiller on that hook. This generator has about 50% done, I would say, just under 50%, and we are going to be using Collar Brine on it. So, oh my god, considering considering Really has Eruption and Collar Brine and Painter's still to his to his gallery of things, and I think this could pretty easily be the win for Really. I mean, he has 2 survivors injured. Maybe if the survivors can just rotate to somewhere on the edge of the map and just reset, maybe this can be possible. And it does look like that is what they have done.
The Kaneki player should be expecting this. There's no one working on gens. You know they can't really afford to pull. So, and you saw what they kind of went from. So you kind of be assuming, hey, these survivors might be resetting towards that edge map 1 to 4 area. And I think roaming over there would have been massive, as we see the double heal tech coming out there, saving the 99% there just to try and get it immediately off so the killer has less information. But really, just kind of playing a bit more passive here, considering they didn't try to patrol for that reset, which would have been the win. I was going to say, this is the next 30 seconds could honestly just tell how the game's going to pan out, who's going to win and lose if they do find the interruption there, but not quite going to come through. But we'll trade it for the Death Hook now on the Painkiller. So it does have this Painkiller on this Death Hook now for the potential tunnel out. And I mean, Painkiller also got hooked in a really bad spot, the most active generators as well being hooked there as the Caller Brian's doing its job on that generator and still has the 2 pain resists to play around as well on the back end of this game. So it's actually crazy. I doubted it. I'll be honest, I doubted it at the start, but maybe, just maybe, I think really could actually pull this off.
Yeah, I mean, we do have 2 survivors on Death Hook, and we are going to be chasing Laurie for some reason, which is our 1 survivor but it's still fresh, which I find a little bit more interesting. I would have definitely just sent it straight back to the hook and try to get someone out the game to force that 2v1. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but we messed up our Kiniki dashes, and we are going to
Oh,
be
they're doubling.
Yeah,
I think it's a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, because it does look like, because they were doubling, it means that he can easily
Pay kills death.
Yeah. Yeah, it does look like we do spot Painkiller out here, and we are able to get that eruption as well. So maybe the survivors will double right now, and maybe they'll pop, because it did have a decent amount of progress.
Pain res though.
I don't know if
the pain res. I think he might have it. It looks like the pain res might get utilized here. This could be absolutely massive. What was the pain res? If they were doubling that generator, it just got completely denied, or if any generator is being worked here at any high progress. I mean, just saving these stacks towards the end game is actually a smart decision from the killer player as well. Just knowing they could come off and pay off spades later on in the game, as we're going to be seeing really trying to patrol this gen. I think you might have seen a scratch mark there, but if they find Starnos, it'll actually most likely be the win, bar maybe a hash or door play in the end game for the Jake. So really just kind of patrolling around the map. Maybe they might try and sneak in cheese, double that generator on the top side of the map. Caller Brian not giving notifications away though, so maybe they're trying to meet up. No, the blood trail are going to be giving away the lorry. And everyone get hyped up in the chat. This is actually crazy. We might be seeing the 4K3 win con get met here from really had an insane bloody game on the survivor side, and now on the killer side, you're gonna be playing absolutely insane as well. Unfortunately, not gonna be able to get that one off, but we'll be crossing the map here. It gives a bit of time for Jake to try and stealth out on this end game, but now all of a sudden there's a bit of an awkward spot here on the side of Pay Money. I think they'll, for most of the game, kind of just chilling out, vibing, knowing they had a good easy win kind of try and meet, but really has been a bit of a roadblock here. And now it's getting a bit tense, because if they don't pop another generator, that is the win to Shinto 2-0.
Yeah, we do see our Jake Park here just selfing. This might actually be possible, and we do see the pick onto our Gloria Fresh Survivor, so we are going to be able to use our pain res here. So I'm not too sure what the survivors would be able to do, really. I mean, it's a 2v1, you're versing Nikki, and I mean, really, that wasn't even a pain res stack. I mean, he still has that pain res stack to use. Because Eruption is Caller Brian, it's pretty much impossible for this to be a win for our survivor side, and it's quite crazy to me. We are going to be looking around the 6 side of the map, and we have rotated all the way to the hook, so this is going to be a really good unhook for our survivor side. But even then, I feel like the Kaniki will just be able to rotate so quickly back to the hook. I just don't think it will be possible. I think the fact that he's been able to force us 2v1 just so quickly into the match and stop all that regression has really showed that the true potential of Kaneki. Obviously, we are going to be missing that but it's just not going to matter really. I mean, we do know that they have pretty much well, now they might have a little bit of progress, but there's pretty much little to no progress, and this is going to be a pain res stack, and the Jake Park is most likely in this top left bit of the map, and stealthing in the most obvious spot. I think he might get down here purpose.
There's an interesting dynamic on this ghoul set, because I feel like it's just a battle of both the really good Kanekis versus, and if whether either Survivor team can try and keep up, but the Jake definitely cannot keep up, as we're going to be seeing Jake getting spotted on the edge map, really going to be downing the Jake here, momentarily asking for it as well. I'm not sure what's going on, maybe get the grab here. Yep, going to be getting that grab, it looked kind of funky, but will be the down of the 4K3 win con for really, assuming they can find Starnos, which they shouldn't have crawled too far, but that is absolutely crazy. Seeing a comeback, a 4K3 to get the win, and to 2-0 the set against Pay Money. I can't believe that's absolutely wild. Really well played there from really just, but also very unfortunate for Pay Money.
Yeah, that's just so, that's just crazy to see. Like, it's a 4K3 win con. There's not even a tiebreaker. Like, you have to 4K3, and somehow really, I just don't know. Like, this, like, oh my god, this Kaneki
Oh my god.
played played